This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to CWK Live. It is great to be back here with you. I am your host, Dan Zehr. Naturally delighted to talk Star Wars with each and every one of you. Darren is back on the show. Hello, Darren. Hey, CWK Live Day is back. Yes, I took last week off for spring break. Had a nice time with my family, and now ready in the driver's seat here at CWK Studios. Excited to talk Star Wars with all of you. Brian is here too. This is a Tuesday you are looking for. Hello, Brian. Mr. Fudge. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you did too, Mr. Fudge. And Robert, happy Tuesday to you as well. Looks like Burnt Waffle is also joining us, as is Mary Purdue. Hello, everyone. She says, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is safe. The Midwest to the south and east has been a crazy weather day. It is quite crazy. Quite crazy indeed. And Father Jimmy is here. He says, great to be back after a Lenten break from YouTube. Father Jimmy, great to see you. I had the good fortune during my spring break to get to hang out with Father Jimmy and have a mass with him. And he got to meet Deanna and Mason, so that was great. Pleasure to see you, Father Jimmy. Burnt Waffle says, hope everyone's spring breaks were good. They were terrific. And Nick is here. Happy CWK Day, everyone. Awesome. Well, last week I put out 2 weeks ago, we had CWK Live. I put out the call. Every week our audience is doubling. Let's see if that can continue. Last time we did the show, we had 109 viewers, which is amazing. And a big reason for that is a lot of you got on your Twitter accounts and your Facebook accounts, and you copied or quoted the link to this live show. And people came flocking. It's great because what you're doing when you do that is you're getting a lot of people to see this amazing community that we have. Because on Coffee with Kenobi, you get a voice. In fact, your voice is going to be heard tonight as we talk about your top 5 moments from the last 2 episodes of Star Wars, The Bad Batch. So, yes, it is the Bad Territory and The Harbinger. These did not both come out on the same day, but as you know, or as you may have heard, or maybe you just deduced because you're clever people, and I appreciate you. We didn't have a live show last week, and so we didn't get to talk about Bad Territory in a live show. And The Harbinger is the show we would have talked about this week anyway, so we're going to combine them both into one top 5. Your Aurebesh lessons will continue, and of course, your comments and questions. So first, let's take a look at what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week. All right, that is really quiet. I need to add music to that. So the big news, which we've been talking about online a lot, a number of you have already talked to me about it. I've spoken to MEI about it, but we finally got the dates, June 16th to the 20th, 2025. So not this summer, but the summer after. We're going to go on the Disney Wish with myself, Coffee with Kenobi, and MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Go to coffeewithkenobi.com/DisneyWish to get your no cost, no obligation quote. A lot of people have asked me about this. A lot of people have asked me about this. And some of you had that feeling of, I wish I was able to hang out with you guys when you went on the Halcyon. And I wish that too. But I had promised that we're going to do something different, something in the future. And now that future has been announced. It will be next summer, June 16th to the 20th on Disney Wish. The great thing about booking with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel and coming on this ship with me is you get to meet a lot of people from the Star Wars and Coffee with Kenobi community who've already booked their trips on the Disney Wish with me, and I'm very excited about that. Another cool thing, though, is when you use coffeewithkenobi.com/DisneyWish, and let me put that promo up there again for you, coffeewithkenobi.com/DisneyWish. It's a no cost, no obligation quote. So if it ends up not working out, no big deal. No problem. We're going to do a lot of these over the next few years, but this is the newest one that's going to be happening, and we're looking forward to it. The reason we're picking the Disney Wish is because it has a Star Wars lounge on it. You can see it on the right, and we're very, very excited about experiencing that, and as well as all the other cool things that happen on a Disney cruise. I honestly think they are the best possible experiences you can have when it comes to Disney World. Jason says, hello there from rainy and snowy northern Illinois. Nothing like springtime in the Midwest. I know it gets crazy, crazy cold. Let's talk about tonight's show, your top 5 moments from Bad Territory and the Harbinger. I didn't do any news tonight or merchandise because I knew we had a lot to talk about with the Bad Batch, and I want to talk about the Disney Wish. Again, if you have any questions, you can certainly email me, danzy@coffeewithkenobi.com. But get your name in there for the no cost, no obligation quote, so you can at least get an idea of what to do. And you get to pay, you put down a deposit, but you get to pay throughout. It's not like you have to have all the money at one lump sum. You can sparse it out as works best for you and your family. So just a good thing to point out. Mary says, one of the nice things about booking now is we get paid monthly until March 2025. Exactly. So not so much out of the pocketbook at one time. Thank you, Mary, for that. That is exactly right. You said that much more eloquently than I could. And in addition to that, there's going to be some other cool opportunities that for members who book specifically with Miles Fan Travel, the official travel partner of Coffee with Kenobi. So more on that to come. There's a lot of time between now and then, but just want to put it out there for all of you. Now let's talk about these 2 episodes. We reviewed them both on Coffee with Kenobi. Great fun to do so. But for this, we've got some other things going on. And I didn't do a top 10 because I wanted to do a top 5 because I feel like the first episode, I don't feel like there was as much for me to talk about on Bad Territory. But for some of you, you may feel completely different. So I wanted to put them both out there and selfishly save my voice in the process. No letter. Oh, yes. Thank you, Darren. Darren is like always my helper with these things. Yes, let's do some Aurebesh. Let's talk Aurebesh. Yes, it is time to review and revisit Aurebesh lessons. The letter tonight is the letter R, which I think is an easy one finally to remember. A lot of these get very, very tricky because some of them don't look like natural things from the alphabet. But here's a review. There's the letter A again. There is the letter B. I used to just write these down. You can certainly write them down while I'm reviewing them just to kind of check your work. Or even cooler, maybe write them right before you start the show. And this is your way to kind of remind yourself of what's going on. There is the letter C. Test your work, so to speak. There's the letter D, which is going to look a lot like the letter R, by the way. Just keep that in mind. There's the letter E, the V with the I next to it. Letter F. There is our letter G. There is our letter H. 3 lines, 3 horizontal lines. The one in the middle is much shorter. There's the letter I, which looks like the number 1. There's the letter J, which I still think looks like a Lego hand holding their hand upside down. There's the letter K, which is like a backward C. There's a little letter L, which is like a check mark. The letter M looks like someone is making a muscle. The letter N has like a little curve. Come on, letter N, let's go. There you go. It has like a little half curve and then an upside down V attached to it. The letter O. The letter P, which I don't have a clever way to remember the letter P. You just have to remember. You draw a little line up, a very slight curve, a line horizontal, and a line vertical. The letter Q, which we did 2 weeks ago, so you had 2 weeks to learn the letter Q. And then the new letter for tonight is the letter R, which is a 7. It's the number 7. I said it looks like a D because the D has the 7 with the line in the middle. This does not have that. So if you see that 7, that is the letter R. And some of these you can kind of make connections to, and others you just have to memorize. So there is the letter R. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've only got 8 letters left, 2 months of this. And then we are fluent in Aurebesh, right? Not exactly, probably not. But again, the best way to do this is to keep writing and practicing. Try to spell your name, right? Try to spell your last name. Try to spell words that come to mind in Aurebesh. That's actually a fun thing, and it's really kind of invigorating, I think, because it shows me, oh my gosh, I know this better than I realized. It's very close to D, exactly. It's just like the letter D, except just doesn't have that line in the middle part. Okay, thank you again for the reminder, Darren. Appreciate that very much. let's go ahead and jump into our top fives. So my top five, my number five from these two episodes, I put the fight sequence. Of course, I'm talking about the fight sequence in the Harbinger. It's a great fight sequence because basically Asajj Ventress and the Bad Batch, neither of them lose face. They both fight very, very well, very valiantly. Asajj Ventress is, of course, outnumbered. Doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure that she's pulling her punches. I mean, honestly. But either way, the Bad Batch at least gives her a good sweat, right? And I think it's fun. They're purely trying to stick up for Omega because they are afraid that Asajj is a danger or a threat. She's not. But they have no way of knowing that. Their history of Asajj Ventress is quite different from what we know from Jedi Lost and from all the other things, Dark Disciple, other things that Asajj Ventress has been, a heroic part of. But that fight sequence is pretty awesome. Liberty is here. Hello, Liberty. She says, I've fallen behind on my Aurebesh practice. Need to get back on it. No worries. I fell behind on spring break as well. But there's always time. There's always the present, Liberty. So no worries. And good to see you. Darren's number 5. The pit droids working the bar. One taking out a patron with a bottle that shot at another patron. That was fun. Pit droids always make me smile. Number 5 for Robert, the creep factor, i.e. the Space Gators and Mantis Man. There's a huge creep factor in Paths Unknown for sure. Mr. Fudge's 5's getting to see the beautiful scenery, and the animation continues to be just stellar on this show. Number 5 for Jason, she's a liberator of ancient wonders. Sai, a pirate? She's a pirate. Yeah, that was fun. A fun little conversation between Omega and Crosshair about Fee. That was pretty good. Number 5 for your father Jimmy, when Asajj is talking about the M count, it says it attracts the wrong kind of attention. It felt very ominous. Again, that's a good example of show don't tell, where you don't spell things out, but you let the tension build. Number 5 for Burnt Waffle, those fighting scenes, it was animated really well. It was gorgeous. The choreography of those fight scenes, I need to ask about that. How they do fight scenes in animation. It's really, really cool to see. It's beautifully choreographed. Mary's number 5, Louisiana Star Wars. Look at the planet. It was so much like Louisiana or the Florida swamplands. Yes, absolutely. Even the boat they were in. Brian's number 5, another cool cantina. Never a dull moment when we visit any cantina. Isn't that the truth, Brian? Isn't that the truth? Don't forget, if you're just joining us, hello and welcome. If you're on Twitter, please or quote the tweet that has the live show on it so other people can find Coffee with Kenobi Live. That would be so great. Or, of course, you can tag the show on Facebook. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, Asajj appears. We knew Asajj was going to show up. I mean, at some point, because it was in the trailer. But the way she kind of comes out of the shadows and she's got her new haircut, it was just a great sequence. But I still say, and I think a lot of you told me you agree. Some of you don't. That's totally great. I'm very at peace with that. I love the different opinions. But for me, I wish I didn't see Asajj Ventress in the trailers. It would have been, imagine the boom, the excitement that would have went across fandom, that would have reverberated across fandom if we didn't know that Asajj was going to be there and then she just shows up like that around Omega. Oh my gosh. Plus, we wouldn't have, people thought she was dead because of Dark Disciple. It would have been amazing, but, it's okay. It worked out. It was still a thrilling moment, and it's my number 4. Number 4 for Darren, all the cloak and dagger and Ventress actually says midichlorians. Yeah, we finally get to hear the word, which is a big deal. Number 4 for Robert is Fennec Shan's return from Paths Unknown. Mary's for the fight scene in the Cape between Ventress and the Bad Batch. Excellent. My number 5, your number 4. Number 4 for Father Jimmy. That great fight scene, the hand-to-hand combat, was cool to see, and it helped set it apart from other fights. Yes, it did. It definitely did. Let's see. Wrecker's number 4. Mr. Fudge is number 4. Wrecker being shocked from Asajj being able to know they were spying on them. For me, I thought it was kind of funny. It was funny, and just shows how powerful she is. Mary says, I agree with you, Dan, like when Maul popped up at the end of Solo. Exactly. That was just such a moment. It'd be fun to not have it spoiled in the trailer. But I guess that's part of the investment of watching a trailer. It does generate its own level of excitement, to be fair. Burnt Waffles 4, the cantina scene was really cool since there was a lot put into that one scene. Yeah, a lot of fun little Easter eggs in that one. Number 4 for Jason Omega's many questions. It's amazing and comforting to see that she retains some childlike innocence after all she's been through. And I was happy to see that as well. Brian's number 4, the return of Fennec Shand, which a lot of people were very excited about. Do we lose the feed or is it an issue on my end? If we did lose the feed, I don't think we did. I don't see a disconnection on my end, Robert. So hopefully that isn't the case, but hopefully you're able to join us. And speaking of that, I appreciate Robert bringing that up. And again, hopefully, Robert, you'll be able to jump right back on for us. Remember, you can always, if you can't catch it live, either on X or YouTube or Facebook with Coffee with Kenobi, you can always watch the replay on Facebook or YouTube, or you can also, I guess you can watch it on X, now I think about it. And you can always listen to the audio feed of CWK Live on anywhere you listen to podcasts. So there's that. Okay, let's go to number 3. Number 3 for me is the meditation exercise from Paths Unknown. This is my only one from Paths Unknown. Again, it was a fine episode, but there was more that stood out to me for the Harbinger. Harbinger means a sign of things to come, by the way, if you weren't aware of that. But when Crosshair is struggling and we learn that his problem with his hand is probably not physical, then Omega works with him to teach him something she learned from Gunji on Kashyyyk, and that is to meditate, to breathe, to calm and center yourself, which you do not have to be a Jedi to do. Meditation, prayer, anywhere where you're able to slow your breath and just really focus internally. That's huge, right? It's a good thing. Hopefully it will help Crosshair to get rid of the yips or whatever it is that is ailing him. But it was a beautiful scene, and so it made my number 3. Number 3 for Darren, Omega being tested for the Force. Made me wonder why Ventress didn't have a blood test like Qui-Gon Jinn. Well, that's a good question. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that is something that they don't have anymore because of what happened with Order 66. It's a good question. Liberty, both of these last 2 episodes were about trust. Should they trust Fennec? Should they trust Ventress? That's a good connection, Liberty. The good little motif there. Mr. Fudge is 3, the Bad Batch in Clone Force 99 fighting Asajj, which is great, and you spelled Asajj correctly too. Right on, man. Number 3 for Father Jimmy. The reference to Gunji in Episode 7 played well into Asajj's mention of the Force connecting to nature. Yes, I thought that was pretty cool as well. Robert is back. Number 3 for Robert is Asajj Ventress's fight with the Bad Batch. That is so far has been the most popular one that we have talked about. Burnt Waffles 3, how Asajj looks at Wrecker, and then Wrecker says, how does she know we were watching? It was pretty fun. Definitely. Jason's 3, Hunter giving Omega the task of convincing Crosshair to have a shaking hand looked at while she set out the mission to find Fennec. It was nice to see him show that he respects her by giving her a meaningful mission. I agree. And Mary's 3, the meditation and sunset scene with Omega and Crosshair, Omega telling him, you've missed a lot. I think he is realizing what he missed when he made the decision to leave them. It's true. And it's pretty lovely. Again, their relationship continues to be really rich and rewarding. So I'm going to do something here that I don't normally do. I've got, this is not related to the Bad Batch, but I'm going to show you a quick clip from what happened in this week's CWK Pour-Over. Excuse me. Well, we do want a course on CWK Pour-Over. It's for members of the CWK Alliance. This is where you get access to exclusive podcasts and videos not heard anywhere else. Excuse me. Never fails about halfway through my voice starts to get like that. So I'm going to show you this commercial. It's not a commercial. It's just a clip from the video portion of CWK Pour-Over this week. We talked about our top 5 favorite Easter candies. So I'm going to show you the clip and then I'll explain it. But Corey just shared with us that one of his favorite Easter candies is M&Ms that are pastel colored. So here we go.
Just plain.
Yeah.
But they have the pastel colors like yellows and blue and pink and those colors. It's our fun.
That's funny. And that's like such great marketing, isn't it? Because they taste exactly the same. But they just
they're the same thing, right?
They change the package. I know. And everybody goes crazy.
They do it for Halloween. They do it for Christmas. Hello. I mean,
I could walk.
You don't think those taste like Easter?
They do. I could walk into Walgreens and I could see the discounted Valentine's Day Reese's Peanut Butter Cups next to the exact same size and style Easter. And I honestly remember thinking every day, even like a few weeks ago, Oh, why would anyone get that? Get the Easter one. They're the same.
Yeah.
And the Valentine's one is cheaper, but it's just like we're
Come on,
such
Jerry.
victims of it. Come on. All right, so that was your number 4, Corey?
Number 4. Yep.
Okay. My number 4, this is another one I struggle with, and then I realized, wait, of course I can pick this. It is, now there's like a kind of a whoppery version of it, but I'm talking. All right, so that's what you call a little cliffhanger. On Pour-Over, we talk about Star Wars, we talk about pop culture, we just try to have fun, make each other laugh, and it's just a good break from the day. It's a great way to support me and Coffee with Kenobi. The 2 best ways, well, there's 3 ways to really support the show. Subscribe to CWK Pour-Over and join the CWK Alliance. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or travel with Coffee with Kenobi and Mouse Fan Travel. Those are the best ways to do that. So people keep asking that. There you go. But I wanted to show you the Easter one because it's pretty timely because of the great holiday that we just had. Okay, yes, water. I do need water. And speaking of water, what a great transition to my number 2, the fish metaphor. When Asajj Ventress is out on the boat and she reaches out to demonstrate to Omega what it's like to reach out to nature through the Force. There's a lovely metaphor I talked about on the show last week where she calms the wildness of nature and finds peace and centers herself in it. She does that a lot. There's a lot more to say about the metaphor. I won't go through it all again here like I did on the podcast last week. But it's a really nice example of finding peace within self and reaching out and realizing you're part of something much, much bigger than yourself. And it's a great thing for Asajj Ventress and her amazing journey ever since we saw her in the Clone Wars film. Let's go to everybody's list here. Liberty said, in Harbinger, Omega says she doesn't know how to let go of her conscious mind. That is meditation. She just doesn't know this yet. She's already taught Crosshair how to meditate, yet hesitates at Asajj's test. That's a good comparison, Liberty. That's a really good comparison. There's a major connection there. Sometimes you got to bridge that gap and teach yourself, hey, I can do this in other areas of my life. I can do it here too. It's good real world application, honestly. Number 3 for Brian, Omega finding Asajj in the cave. Ironic, this was the episode right before Easter. Oh, Brian, good call. Good call. Darren's too that are trying to get Crosshair to reveal what happened to him while in prison. Yeah, that was pretty intense. Anything with Crosshair in talking about the past can be pretty intense. Burnt Waffles to Asajj being like Yoda and Omega being like Luke when they were training together. Oh, good connection. Good connection. Number 2 for Robert, the fact that Fennec kept her word. Although it might not have been exactly what the Bad Batch was expecting. No, I don't think I was either. Mary's 2. Ventress saying to the Batch they were all pawns in the same war, and they both lost. And that's true. No one wins in war. Father Jimmy, number 2, Batcher being so joyful in the background of the heavy conversation between Omega and Crosshair. It's a nice kind of a light moment in a very intense one. During a very intense scene, I should say. Number 1 for Mr. Fudge. Telling Omega advice and testing if she has the Force, and Omega passed one of the 3 tests. This means she could have the Force. I would argue she passes 2 of them because she has to interact with Batcher, which is a part of nature, to retrieve that flower on the mountain. So, but the 3rd one, definitely she didn't pass. So I don't know. Does she have the Force? I guess we will find out. Number 2 for Jason, Ventress's character development. She's obviously going to a result of what she's been through, and even seems to have a sense of peace about her Ventress style, of course. Ventress style, of course, is a really good comparison. Liberty's number 1, I like how Asajj sent Omega away so the grown-ups could talk. They also did test her resourcefulness, and what kid doesn't try to ride their big dog? That's true. That's true. Brian's number 2, Hunter, trusting Omega to go out on the boat with Ventress by herself. And Brian, I'm glad you brought that up. That showed a huge amount of trust and respect, because for all he knows, Ventress would have taken Omega and they went through a lot, but for some reason he trusts. Actually, I know the reason why. It's because Omega trusts, and he trusts her completely. And that's pretty cool. That's probably one of the reasons why they have such a great relationship that they have. All right, time to go to number 1. I think most of us have had ours from the Harbinger, but let's see. Number 1, for me, I put unknown. What do I mean by unknown? I once had a philosophy class in college, and I may have told the story before, where the professor said there are 2 kinds of people. People who like questions and people who like answers. I like answers, but I love questions. I love questions because I like thinking and trying to put pieces together that already exist. I don't mean speculating. I think that's a different skill set, which I do not have. But the idea of, at the end, we don't know what is going on with Omega as far as her midichlorian count. Asajj leaves. We have more questions than answers. That's a home run to me. I love the unknown. I love the enigmatic puzzle that is Omega and what is going on. And since we've only got, 5-6 episodes left, I'm so okay with that because it means there's so much more that we get to learn. And maybe that's why I like questions so much, because it means there's more I can learn. I'd rather try to have it organically be spelled out than just know the answers right away. Again, it's not that I don't like getting answers, I do. But I really prefer questions. So the way that this ends, the way the Harbinger ends, is fabulous to me. Absolutely love it. All right, let's see. Number 1 for Darren Ventress, whose appearance is more interesting after your recommendation to read Dark Disciple. Yes. I also thought it was interesting to see her with hair. Good deal. And I hope you got to read Dark Disciple, Darren. Love to hear what you think. The one for Mary Ventress and the Sea Creature. The previous version of Ventress, she would have killed that creature without hesitation, no doubt. But now, her character development is exhibited here by the concern she has for the creature and Omega. Yes, absolutely. Good point. Robertson went across her taking Asajj's hand, and even more shocking, Asajj accepting it. That's some pretty serious character growth. I agree with that. I think that was a very pivotal moment in that episode. Mr. Fudge is one record bringing Omega with him to get some food at the end of the episode of Harbinger. Yes, very cool. Burnt Waffles and one. Asajj has a yellow lightsaber now, which would mean that she shouldn't be on the dark side anymore, right? Well, she is not on the dark side in Dark Disciple. She gets away from that. In fact, she gets away from that in Clone Wars, I would say. But now it seems quite official because there's no red kyber crystal. So how did it go from red to yellow, or what happened? I look forward to finding out. Father Jimmy's the one. Asajj calming the sea creature very much felt like Yoda lifting the X-Wing. Oh, that's an interesting juxtaposition. Number 1 for Jason, Omega teaching Crosshair to meditate, just like Gungi taught her. I was very happy to see him open himself up to it. And what a scene with the two of them overlooking the ocean sunset. Wasn't that gorgeous? Again, the scenery that some of you point out in the animation is just remarkable. Number 1 for Brian, Asajj's character development. She's a completely different character than the one we have seen before. She only cuts off one tentacle and accepts Crosshair's hand for help. Very, very important that accepting not only of Crosshair offering, but her accepting when she doesn't need his help, really. But it's a gesture, right? They're building trust. They're building peace. And let's hope we get to see more of Asajj Ventress. So next week, as you know, on Wednesday, tomorrow, April 3rd, we're going to get 2 brand new episodes of The Bad Batch back to back. So while this week, we talked about 2 episodes, they're released one at a time, week to week, because I was gone, but I'm here. You're stuck with me. So we're going to look at next week's 2 episodes as a 10-parter. So where is my... I thought I had a new thing. Let me see. Next week. There we go. Top 10 moments from The Bad Batch's Identity Crisis and Point of No Return. Those are the 2 episodes that come out tomorrow. So we're going to do a top 10 of The Bad Batch, Identity Crisis, and Point of No Return. Instead of doing a top 5 for each one, I'm just going to put them all together because I think that just might be easier. And it just kind of gives you a time to put them together. Because typically, at least what we've seen in The Bad Batch so far this season and really last year, when that happens, usually the 2 episodes go together pretty well. And that's why we're going to do next week a top 10. Liberty says, you're saying I'm a Jedi? And the follow-up, clearly none of you are normal. The whole idea of Ventress taking an interest in Omega and testing her is fantastic. Have to mention when I first saw the Water Beast, I yelled Bibbo for those who enjoyed Star Wars Resistance. Oh, that's interesting. That's fun. All right, let's jump into Ask Dan Z, shall we? No. All right. You'll notice. Hello, everybody. You'll notice that next week I'm not doing a show on Tuesday. In fact, last year around this time, for those of you who have been listening and watching all this time, appreciate you. But last year, I'm doing the same thing now that I'm doing for the next few months. My son Mason, who of course many of you know from Coffee with Kenobi and from our trips, He has baseball games on Tuesday nights, and I don't want to miss them. As much as I love you all, I got to be a dad first, always. So we're changing CWK Live to Monday nights, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, starting next week for a couple months. And I'll give you plenty of advance notice when we switch back to Tuesdays. It'll probably be July, honestly. But for several months now, we're going to switch to Monday nights. It's going to take some Herculean juggling on my end. Not for anything workload-wise or show-wise, but just to make myself remember I'm switching to Mondays because I'm such a crazy, very crazy focused, should say hyper-focused person of structure and scheduling. So again, next week, CWK Live is switching to Mondays for the foreseeable future because Mason is in baseball season. Brian says there's also a new episode of X-Men 97 out tomorrow too. I've been totally loving it. You know what? I haven't seen it yet, but everyone tells me it's just great. There are actually the final episodes without the finale like other media outlets. The final episodes of The Bad Batch. Did I? Not yet. I don't know that anyone else did. Maybe they did. I don't know. I've been pretty busy getting back into school because we started school today, so I'm not sure. I'd be surprised if I got those. Although I won't be sad if that is in fact the case. That's for sure. Okay. Excuse me 1 second. My computer's acting a little wonky. There we go. Got my screen back. What was the best thing that happened over spring break? Honestly, going to Washington, D.C. was really wonderful with my family. Had a great time. Did a lot of cool touristy things. Got to celebrate Easter and the resurrection with my family. And that was pretty marvelous too. So how many new figures announced lately have you purchased any? So far I've been able to hold myself back, but it has not been easy because there's a lot of great ones. They haven't had anything retro yet recently. And once that happens, then I'm really, really going to be in trouble. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on CWK Live. We got a lot of people joining us, and I really very much appreciate that. I appreciate you spreading the word. I appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule to join me as we talk Star Wars, The Bad Batch, and just continue to foster this wonderful CWK Star Wars community. Don't forget again, get your no cost, no obligation quote to join us on the Disney Wish, June 16th to the 20th, summer 2025. Go to coffeewithkenobi.com/DisneyWish to get your no cost, no obligation quote. And please let them know that Dan, Zehr, and Coffee with Kenobi sent you. If I have a CWK water bottle, I should bring that for each stream. Yes, I probably should. I think it's just that it's dry in the studio. But yeah, you're right. I absolutely should. I used to have a refrigerator. It was a Han Solo and carbonite refrigerator, and I loved that thing. It was so cool. It lit up. It was awesome. But then it died. So now it didn't really function well. Great way to start the week with CWK family. Good luck to Mad Eye Mason during the season. Thank you, Brian. I will certainly tell him that. And Mary, have a great and safe week as well. See you all next Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Please synchronize your watches and your calendars so you can join us next Monday as we talk about our top 10 moments from the new Bad Batch, which will drop tomorrow. Those episodes are Identity Crisis and Point of No Return. And don't forget, you can go to the CWK Cafe, which is our Facebook group, and share your immediate thoughts there. On Wednesdays, we do a spoiler-free option. Then on Saturdays, we do an actual full-on say whatever you need to say one. Enjoy the Bad Batch doubleheader. Thank you, Father Jimmy. Thank you again, all of you, for joining us. I will see you next time. I hope you learned something. I know I did. Appreciate you all so much. Remember, this is the live podcast you're looking for. See you next time. May the stars light your way. Lots of cliches here, but they're all good. They're all good. See you soon.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.